The largest amount of U.S. military assistance to Ukraine in history, more than $3 billion, to give the country an opportunity to defend itself against the Russian army. This is the main motive for support, the White House underlined.
We did not expect the fighting to stop in the winter. It hasn't. In fact, in some places, it's become even more vicious, Donbass particularly. And so we want to make sure that the Ukrainians are well kitted out and well suited for the fighting that they're going to be facing in the next couple of months.
Russian propaganda is tirelessly trying to convince its audience that Kyiv is just a puppet of Washington, but the main goal of the United States, which has been stated many times, is to help Ukraine defend its sovereignty and independence from the Russian army, which does not disdain any methods of waging a war of conquest.
We both want this war to end. We both want it to end. And as I've said, it could end today if Putin had any dignity at all and did the right thing and just said, pulled out.
In the meantime, Putin's army is not going to collapse. The United States is helping Ukraine expand its capabilities to liberate the territories temporarily occupied by Russia. This was stated by the Minister of Defense of Ukraine, Oleksiy Reznikov, after a conversation with the head of the Pentagon, Lloyd Austin. Moscow has not reacted in any way to the new military aid, which includes Bradley infantry fighting vehicles, artillery systems, armored personnel carriers, rockets and ammunition. After all, the Russian propaganda itself chooses the time when Ukraine's new weapons are threatened that is suitable for their information operations, and when it's not.
Russian officials and mil bloggers scarcely reacted to the latest announcement of military assistance, even though the Kremlin most recently portrayed the transfer of purely defensive Patriot air defense systems to Ukraine as an escalation. The lack of Russian reaction to the US announcement of military assistance that Ukrainian forces could use to support counter-offensive operations supports ISW previous assessment that the Kremlin is more concerned with its informational operations, from the report of the Institute for the Study of War.
$225 million out of the announced $3 billion in assistance will be used to modernize the Ukrainian army. From the end of January, the Ukrainian military will begin training to work with Patriot air defense systems in the United States. At the same time, control over the audit of military aid to Kyiv continues. During a recent visit to the Ukrainian capital, United States Senator Gus King and the head of the Senate Armed Services Committee said they were extremely impressed by Ukraine's high level of consideration for military assistance. Reported by Roman Smoler, Yulia Bezborodko, UATV News.